Whether you're new to gardening or you've been at it for a while, everybody's heard about compost and how beneficial it can be to the soil, the living soil that you add to the native ground to make it healthier and more nutritious for our gardening and our planting. This compost here is made up of a couple different components: nitrogen and carbon. Nitrogen is anything like rotted cantaloupe. Here's some old salad from my fridge, some carrots, coffee grounds with the filter, because that'll eventually become a carbon when it dries out. And then carbon sources are things like shredded paper. These are leaves from my ficus tree out front. And these are flowers that fell off palo verdes earlier in the season, and I collected boxes of them. I'm mixing these two together in pretty much equal parts will over time break down. You'll turn it in whatever container that you're producing the compost in. I'll show you mine. And over the series of weeks and sometimes months, depending on how long you keep it perpetuating, adding more browns and greens or carbons and nitrogens to eventually come up with this rich material here. And this is what I add to all of these plants. Now the sunflowers are looking sad because they're falling over from wind and they've just been up for a while. My citrus, all of my potted plants. I've used a lot of my compost, but what was left over in my bin I've put into this container for safekeeping. You can see there's crickets in it if you look closely enough. Another organic life form in there. But this is the compost that I made out of those two components that I showed you. And this is the compost container at the end of my garden here. And I've pretty much emptied it out, ready for new production of compost. And what's going to go in here is plenty of carbon and plenty of nitrogen, so lots of browns and greens. And I'll put up a list of some of the different things you can use to produce compost. I was able to obtain this container from the city of Chandler. In my town, they'll let you have one of these for free. You have to go pick it up at the transfer center, but it's a great perk if you're into composting and gardening. And here's another container that I have that I got actually for free. Some friends found them online, and this is where I'm putting all my browns. So on the top here are those palo verde blossoms, but there's plenty of other leaves and other matter at the bottom of this container. And I'll draw from this to add to my compost as I add nitrogens that I either produce here at home or that I pick up from various locations. Composting is clearly added to the health of my garden and my plants. Got a fig over there. These sunflowers are about done for, so they're not too impressive. But I've pretty much used it in everything that I do in all of my gardening. It's a great benefit. And it helps to be conserving our resources and repurposing them to a practical use in the garden.